My name is Aaron Caldwell. I was born and raised in Mississippi, and I've lived most of my life around the Yazoo River Basin, just outside of Belzoni. It's flat, quiet land out there, soybean farms, catfish ponds, and long stretches of nothing. This happened in October of 2019. And to this day, no one really believes me. They nod. They say they're glad I'm okay. They tell me I must have hit my head or gotten turned around. But I didn't. I was taken. And I don't think I ever really came back. I'd gone out for a weekend by myself, something I'd done plenty of times before. I worked maintenance at a grain silo and I'd saved up enough time off to take a long weekend. My plan was simple: hike along Sky Lake Wildlife Management Area, fish a little, camp overnight by the water, and just clear my head. I parked my truck off an old service road about 5 miles past the main trailhead. Not technically allowed, but there's no one out there to stop you. Just trees and mud and alligators if you go too far off the path. The first day was fine. Quiet. Peaceful, even. I fished a little, made a small fire, and cooked canned chili. I slept under the stars, using just my sleeping bag and a tarp strung between 2 cypress trees. I didn't bring a phone signal booster or GPS, just my old Casio watch, a flashlight, and a compass. The last thing I remember clearly was watching the moonlight reflect off the swamp water. It was almost too quiet. No crickets. No frogs. Just the wind and the occasional splash in the distance. I woke up in the middle of the night. Not to a sound. To a feeling. Like I was being watched. You ever wake up with your body full of panic, but you don't know why yet? Like your blood knows something your brain hasn't caught up with? That's what it was like. I sat up in my bag and looked around. At first, I didn't see anything. Just the moss hanging low and the glow of the moon. Then I saw a light. It wasn't firelight. It wasn't a flashlight. It was a faint, flickering white-blue glow, like someone had a lantern but kept turning it away from me. It was maybe 50 yards into the trees, and too steady to be an accident. Someone was out there. I thought maybe it was another camper, or maybe even a game warden who'd seen my truck and come looking. But then I heard something that didn't make any damn sense. It was my name. Not shouted. Not whispered. Just spoken, clear as day. Aaron. I froze. Aaron Caldwell. It sounded too calm. Too measured. Like someone reading it off a clipboard. I called out, "Who's there?" But I didn't get an answer. The light went out. I should have stayed put. But I didn't. I grabbed my flashlight and followed the direction of the voice. Every step felt wrong, but I kept going. After maybe 100 yards, I saw something on the ground. A piece of rope. My rope. Tied the exact same way I'd used it on my tarp. Same frayed end. I turned around to head back, but I couldn't see my camp. It should have been right behind me. I was lost. Then the light came back, closer this time. So close I could see the outline of a man holding it. He was wearing a gray hoodie and jeans. No uniform. No backpack. And he was just standing there. No expression. No gesture. Just watching. I raised my flashlight and called out again. "You okay, man? You need something?" That's when I heard the second voice. Behind me. She shouldn't have told you her name. I spun around. No one there. When I looked back, the man was gone. Then everything went black. I woke up in a room. Concrete walls. No windows. Fluorescent lights humming above me. My arms were zip-tied behind my back. My ankles too. Duct tape over my mouth. The smell hit me first: bleach, sweat, and piss. And under it, something metallic. Like dried blood. I was lying on a thin mattress on the floor. No frame. Just padding. And next to me, maybe 5 feet away, was a metal bucket. That was my bathroom. There were no markings on the walls. No cameras that I could see. Just a single door with a bolt on the outside. The first time it opened, a man came in wearing a black ski mask and gloves. No words. He just put down a tray with some dry crackers and a bottle of water. He never made eye contact. Never spoke. This went on for what felt like 3 days. No talking. No explanation. Just food, water, and sometimes a question written on a piece of paper. Things like, do you have family who will come looking? Does anyone know you were here? Are you religious? I never answered. I figured any answer would be wrong. Sometimes they played music through the walls. Old jazz. 1950s style stuff. But slowed down, warped, and looping. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, I'd hear crying. Not from me. From someone else, in another room. Or at least I think it was a room. Could have been a speaker. One night, the door opened again. But instead of food, they came in with a camcorder on a tripod. Same masked guy. Followed by another man, taller, wearing what looked like scrubs. Blue gloves. No face covering. He looked like someone's dad. Brown hair, crow's feet. Calm. He said, sit up, Aaron. You're gonna answer some questions now. I didn't move. He came over and slapped me. Hard. No rage in it. Like it was part of a job. They untied me and sat me on a metal chair. Then they turned on the camera. What they asked wasn't about ransom. It wasn't about money. It was personal. What's your earliest memory? Have you ever had sleep paralysis? Do you believe your dreams are real? Have you ever thought you were being watched when you were alone? Do you know how to disappear? Each time I refused to answer, they shocked me. Not with wires, nothing that left marks. But they had this black rod. Looked like a cattle prod, only smaller. After 3 jolts, I started talking. I lied, mostly. Gave them fake stories. Made up stuff. I think they knew. Eventually, the camera went off. The man in scrubs leaned close and said, real soft, we're just testing thresholds. You're not the first. Then they put the bag over my head and knocked me out. The next time I woke up, I was lying in the grass just off the same service road where I parked my truck. It was early morning. Dew on the leaves. Birds chirping. My truck was still there. Doors locked. Nothing stolen. The keys were in my front pocket. When I checked the time, I realized something didn't add up. Only one night had passed. According to my phone, it was Saturday. I'd left on Friday. But it felt like days. When I went home, I didn't tell anyone right away. How could I? Hey, I got kidnapped and interrogated by people who knew my name and wanted to know about my childhood dreams. I sounded insane even to myself. But that's not the worst part. 2 weeks later, I found something under the seat of my truck. A small envelope. Inside it was a Polaroid. It showed me, tied to that chair, eyes wide, mouth gagged. On the back, someone had written, "We'll know if you tell." I still live in Mississippi. I never went back to the Sky Lake trails. I never go camping alone anymore. And I keep my phone on me at all times now, with live GPS tracking and backups. I still don't know who they were. Military? Cult? Black market psychology experiment? All I know is, they were organized. And I wasn't there first. And I probably won't be there last. So if you're reading this and planning a solo trip into the woods, don't. They watch the ones who like to be alone. And they wait until no one's looking.